What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend and hope you guys are having an awesome Monday as well. Again, I do live stream on Twitch every day, plus I have a Discord server of my own. You guys can come check me out, play with me, chat me, do all kinds of stuff. Links are going to be in the video description itself, so you guys can check it out. For today's game, I am going second, and I preemptively popped my maxi on my opponent's standby phase. I was not expecting it to get any results, but I was kind of, if you have maxi, you want to pop it, go for it. So he goes into Rescue Cat, tries to tribute it to special out two monsters on the field. I Ash Blossom that effect. He has no negations towards this, that means he can use the Rescue Cat. Nice. So once he activates the Tenki and searches for the Ram, I know what my opponent is playing. My opponent is playing a Zodiac Tri-Brigade with DPE package in there, right? I know what he's playing now. So he sets down a card, ends his turn. Now this set down, his side of the field kept getting highlighted as soon as I normaled out a monster. So I'm thinking, that could be a Forbidden Droplet, that could be a copy of Imperm, and since he's not activating Ash Blossom for any of my graveyard activations, I know he doesn't have Ash Blossom. So that was a Forbidden Droplet. He activates Forbidden, negates my Doodle-Doo Surge. Now, guys, with this, if you don't start with a Pandemonium or Pranks in your hand, if your opponent negates your Doodle-Doo Surge, you won't have access to a full combo. You won't have access to a full Butler combo. So sadly, I had to play around that. So I made one minor mistake. This is my first minor mistake. I made a mistake of going into two Doodle-Doos over one. I should have just gone into one Doodle-Doo into one Bow Wow Bark, but I wanted to get some damage on my opponent. Like, he only has 3 cards. He'll start with 4 cards. Maybe I could, have negate something, do something, because I had Ash Blossom in my hand, right? I could do something so that he can't access to his full combo. So that's why I went through Doodle-Doos, tried to burn him for 5, in case, in the last boom, if I'm missing 500 damage, this would provide the 500 damage to kill him off. But sadly, I activated Roxy's in my grave, so you guys know in Master Duel, if you have it doesn't matter if the activation is an on or auto. If you activate any effects that starts a chain link, the game will ask you whether you want to use your own cards like Ash or Crossout. And I was kind of distracted right here, so I ended up Ash Blossoming my own graveyard activation of Roxy's. I was gonna banish the Ash Blossom draw and get a special on the field, but I Ash Blossomed my own effect. I was so upset about this. I was so upset about this. But anyways, the game goes on. That was one of my major mistakes in game. I'm pretty sure that was one of the big major mistakes I made. I was distracted. I Ash Blossomed my own effect. I used Fusion Destiny, go into DPE, hit him in the face for 4500, set down Crossout, end my turn. So I know one card he has in his hand is a Ram, and since I can't have access to Butler, I want to keep as many cards on the field as possible. So I activate Bow Wow Bark, and then use the Meowmoo, banish Meowmoo, target a copy of Dropsies plus a Panda from my grave added to my hand. So the reason behind this is that I want to have access to a starter card for my next turn, right? And then Pandemonium, you kind of need to go into Rocket Ride to get more cards out, or in case your opponent ashes your Doodle-Doo again or something, just in case. So normals out, the Nerval goes into his Almirage, meaning that once he tributes Almirage, one monster on the field will be immune to destruction through card effects. So, right here, if you guys notice, he already has 3 beast, monsters in his grave. If he activated Almirage to send to the grave, that would be 4. Then he could use Karis to go into his Omen to banish my DPE. I did not want that to happen. So I preemptively popped my DPE. Yeah, I know, he only had 3, but I did not want to take a risk that way. So I popped my own DPE. He had nothing in his hand to negate my DPE's activation in the grave. So he goes into the Doom Eagle. This was a really heads-up play from him. He goes into Doom Eagle and then bounces my DPE from my grave into my extra deck. Then goes into Access Code, starts popping my set cards. He wasted this pop because our Bow Wow Bark, our Prankies monsters were immune to destruction through card effect that turn, because Bow Wow Bark did go through, right? So on my draw phase, I draw into Crossout. DPE activates a special out Dasher on the field. Go into my 1-card combo using Dropsies, but sadly, both my Doodle-Doos plus my Bow Wow Bark are in the graveyard. So I am forced to go into Predaplant. Predaplant will give me access to Thunder Egg Infusion. Thunder Egg Infusion will special out my copy of Butler. Like, this was the best play I could make at this point. End my turn, and on my opponent's draw phase, I could pop my Butler's one pop, banish Meowmoo, and take the access code off of the field. Like, against Tri Brigade, you don't want them having access to access code because they could easily send like 3 or 4 links to their grave easily. So my opponent starts his turn off by lightning storming my full field. Like, at this point I was thinking like maybe I should have put my Butler in defense, but that's still fine because I have Butler's graveyard activation, which will get me Bow Wow Bark on the field. Now, I'm gonna pop my own Bow Wow Bark right here once the chain link starts off of the Rescue Cat. Target the 2 copies of Prankish Monster in my graveyard, which were the Roxys plus the Pansies. And if you guys didn't realize, I have Pandemonium set on the field already. Pandemonium is there. So Rescue Cat gets 2 kits, I use Pandemonium, go into Weather Washer. Now, since we did get our Bow Wow Bark pop before, our Prankish monsters on the field are immune to destruction through card effect this turn. And the 2 monsters that I will get off of the Weather Washer, which will be the Doodle-Doo plus Bow Wow Bark, will be immune to destruction through battle as well. So, Prankish monsters immune to destruction through card effect this turn, these 2 cards immune to destruction through battle. He goes into Predaplant, like I know this is going to be a DPE right here. Predaplant, it means a DPE for the Tri Brigade player. So there's the DPE, gets the DPE on the field. He probably knows, like, he attacks into my Bow Wow Bark to get damage on me, pops DPE to pop my back row, which was my Crosshair. Activates DPE in the grave, so he can special summon himself out on the standby. I draw into a Nib. Yo, this was a top deck because, again guys, if you don't know, Dasher, if you draw into a monster, you could activate Dasher once for 1 game only, once for the full game, to special out that monster, and you can't special out Nib using Dasher. So I specialed out Nib, he got the DPE back on the field, we don't care. He's only at 1,000 life points, no matter what he pops, I would have killed him that turn, like no matter what he does. And my opponent scoops off of that. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, consider hitting the like button, subscribe to my channel, maybe watch me on Twitch when I do go live. And this is JPP Duel signing off for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!